There it is. WSUX.
This grows on me every week. Hey, welcome back to Wook Plus. Good morning.
Smooth.
Good morning.
Jack.
We can Wook, joined by Kev, the Great Went, and T. What's up, guys? How you doing? This is fine Sunday morning.
Brackets are off. It's bracket season.
I don't know, man. I'm like, it's in with a whimper. Not a whimper. I'm excited about it. No, listen, I'm stoked about it, and I can't wait to really get into it. But I was like, I think I was burnt out from the fanfare and all the hype and shit. I was like, let's just get it out there, get the vote, and get the conversation started, and not like overhype this motherfucker, you know? Just kind of get it going. I am excited though. I'm really excited to see how this one pans out.
I got Eyes of the World winning it all.
Yeah. I mean, shit. That's hard to argue.
Right. Well, it seems to me from all the fish brackets that whoever came in second place kind of won the next year. I think.
For the first two, but that wasn't always the case. Like
the Ghost Reba one, everyone thought Reba was gonna.
Reba was like the bridesmaid.
3.
What's was like number 3 every year.
Like 3 times.
Right from the first year, it was like Tweezer Yem Reba. Then it was like Yem Hood Reba. Then it was like Hood Fluff Reba. She was always right in that third spot. So you never know. I mean, I feel like Guys is a safe bet. I think Darkstar though. It depends who. It depends who is voting and what the demographic is. Because I know a lot of people that would go Darkstar over Eyes, right? Like, well, at least that's the sense I get. I don't know that, but I feel like that's the, that's probably the one I would say has the best chance against Eyes.
Voting, exactly. You never know what'll, like between matchups too, you never know. It's easy to get thrown off sometimes just because of what it's going against or what else is out there. Like, and then also who's voting. There's a lot of variables still that go into it.
Yeah, Tom, Terrapin won the first one, which was a couple of years ago. We took like a year off, but Terrapin's banner's in the rafters, so to speak.
And yes, Ray, I was at Merriweather Post for 6/26/10. I bet Tim was there too.
I was, and Mrs. Wook.
And Mrs. Wook. Before she was Mrs. Wook, she was Mrs. Sort of Wook.
Yeah, potential look.
All right, so what's up? We got Drums in Space going. Can we get a live peek?
Yeah, let's take a look. I don't know. So when it first came out, Space took an early lead, which you were kind of all about. You're a Space guy. I'm a Drums guy. Drums edging out Space right now. Early on.
Yeah, Drums will crush Space.
Yeah. 52-48 right now, percentage-wise, with 46 votes. So
get out there and vote Space, everyone.
Right now, the polls are over on Twitter, on X, at Wook Plus. We're going to do the play-in now.
Don't purposely say that letter.
Whatever.
It's Twitter. It's always be Twitter.
We're gonna do all. So after this, the plan we went out this morning because we wanted to just get it going. But starting tonight is when the first round will start. So all the polls will go live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific p.m.
Right, so Drums in Space is only running until 9 tonight, right?
No, it's 24 hours because it's not in the first.
It's
that, okay. So it'll be fine. You have until tomorrow morning. But anyway, we don't need to talk about the bracket the whole time. We'll check in periodically, and I think on all of our shows, as this is going on, we'll take a peek in and see how it's going. But there's a lot of other shit going on.
Except for the Afterfish after show. We probably won't talk about the Grateful Dead bracket on that.
I don't even know when's the next one of those. When's Mexico?
The 21st? Like a couple weeks.
This shit's gonna be done by then, man. I'm not dragging this thing out.
Right.
Gotta get in and out, get it over with. So you got your big announcement that we've been waiting for, and then the announcement that there's more shows, and it felt like another announcement that there's more shows, and I feel like by the time we get to the actual shows, there's going to be a couple hundred lined up.
They just keep adding.
So okay, let's talk about this because this has me thinking, and I want to know what T thinks. It says on the website each weekend's 3 performances will feature a unique set list. Now that to me says that they're going to have a very small pool of songs, or that there are like rotated each weekend, or it's going to be a set list all 3 nights every week.
If only there was somebody we knew that we could ask about the set lists.
Well, we may or may not have, and we may or may not have been told to fuck off.
Well, I'm sure, but I'm sure. I mean, it is an interesting thing because we've talked about that before. Like, how do you set up visually for that? Which is why I think Fish opted to go like the 4 show route to begin with, just to like
Test it out.
here's 4 unique nights. Here's what we can set up with 4 nights. Let's test this thing out and see how it goes. It's a very bold thing to go in with 18 to start and then add 6 more and just be like, okay. But I'm sure they have a plan. Like, I mean, obviously there's a plan in place of what they're going to do and how they're going to function. It's just, I would assume, yes, Kev, to your point, there will be a pool of songs that he will be pulling the set lists from, I'm assuming. And I'm sure it's what, they've rehearsed and what they're comfortable with and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I think the visuals will have a lot of impact as far as
right, but they'll be able to set it up on Monday,
right.
Instead of every week it being Help Slip Franklin's playing Uncle John's into drums or something.
Right.
Help Slip Franklin may open one weekend shows, may close another weekend
shows.
And
then he may split it up like he likes to do sometimes, is put Help in there and then put 2 other songs and then put Franklin's on its own Saturday night or something, right? So like there's ways to change up those.
And then you can build your visuals because on Tuesday what's going to be needed for a Friday.
Right.
And they primarily stick to Matt's lists anyway. I mean, normally when you see it, occasionally you'll see Sharpie through it, they'll call an audible, but I would say the majority of the time there's not much marker on those set lists. And I obviously for these shows there'll be none. I think they are going to do very repetitive weekends though. And so Friday, Saturday will be very different shows, right? They're selling it like, hey, come out for the weekend experience, but weekend to weekend I think are going to be very, very similar. And I think, see, the difference is, though, I feel like Dead & Co. can get away with that more than Fish could at this point, just because of, how the fan base has evolved and how long they're going for. I feel like if Fish did like a residency like that, there would be some unrealistic expectation that there was like no repeats and I was like, that's just not realistic. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they repeat it.
Well, I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking no repeats, but maybe like one weekend some song. If there were like 70 songs, there would be a 20-song floating thing that could be done, over it. But that's a lot of visuals.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to vary that up that much. I think it's going to be like, I think there'll be slight variations almost by accident, but I think the plan is to go in with a very standard approach. I mean, this is speculation. We don't know that.
As far as how much improvisation there will be allowed in there, just like you said, Tim, how sometimes like Matt told us, like sometimes Bobby will be feeling something in the middle of a song and decide to take it this way instead of that way and go into this song, which they had talked about doing, but not doing. So I wonder if that's on the table as far as like sort of backups that they might slip into in some of these jams and be ready for those visuals, or if it's a hard, like, stay on this set list because the show is planned around these songs. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot to think about and lots to figure out with it. So, and I'm also very curious as to the 4th of July show, because they are playing a 4th of July show inside the Sphere, which
US Blues gotta be a US Blues that night.
Well, I think there'll be a few of them, but I think it'll be a very unique experience to do. I think that'll be a one-off unique show, which will have like fireworks probably inside the dome and like those kind of things. So that might be the one really unique show that comes out of it.
Right. They might have a couple, but the other thing too is they don't have to have specific, custom visuals for every song. If hypothetically Bobby's like, oh, I'm feeling this, and he goes into it, at least what I would do is have some sort of vamping
generic
trippy visual that's just like, like the ink blot thing or like a space thing, and then just let them jam, and like that's just the catch-all. And you might not get the same impact, right? And you don't want to do it every song, but I think they could have that ready to go so they don't have to. Because I feel like the band would be pissed if they had that much control and like restraint on them. Like those musicians aren't used to playing like that. They're used to doing whatever comes to them.
To your point, I think it would be cool actually if the visuals changed up sometimes for the song. So if you got an eyes one week, the eyes you get the next week or 2 weeks isn't the same visuals that you just got. So if you happen to do,
yeah, it's not happening. It's gonna be the same visuals.
I don't know
for the chorus and the verses. The jams might go different, but like like what they do with I think every time they play eyes, when they're singing and like it's the song of eyes, like there's going to be the same visuals. I think
the same visuals every week.
I mean,
I think so.
What was that article saying about how much it costs to develop the visuals for these things? It's not like you're in like Premiere doing like a 1080 thing for YouTube. Like it's what I mean? Like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. That's for sure.
Room full of computers.
Yeah.
Blocks.
That's bull.
Yeah, Tom. There are so many iconic videos. The whole pinball space thing, and maybe they can like let Fish use that for Ruby Ways from the beginning of the Dead movie.
I want to see what they do with Shakedown, and like I just picture like you're like the whole globe is walking down the street with those guys and everything.
Right now, they said that there's going to be an indoor Shakedown, right, T?
Well, I'm sure the fans will put together a shakedown. Although also you got to remember you're talking June and July in Vegas, which
hot as
fuck. If you saw the Dead Silver Bowl shows back in the day in the 90s, you know how damn hot it gets. Even at the end of May that one year they did the May run. May, June is quite warm, so it's kind of nice that they're doing it inside an air conditioning sphere to keep you cool. But yeah, shakedown wise, we did read that the Venetian, I believe, or was it I can't remember which hotel, the Bellagio. I can't remember which hotel was connected to it that was doing the VIP packages and all that stuff. But they said they were going to have an immersive experience for all fans. And then if you tiered up your pricing levels or your VIP packages, you'd have more of an experience or more stuff to do in the experience, so to speak. But it sounds like there'll be vendors and probably some kind of.
But you're not going to have T-shirt guy walking up with T-shirt and backpack, or
they're gonna have like T-shirt booth for $200.
Right, Liquid Blue will be there.
Right, maybe section 119 type things like that.
Right,
right, like those kind of things.
Bougie
I think if you want to find the wook shakedown, maybe somewhere else, like outside in a lot still or someplace. But yeah,
is this in a nice?
Hot. Everything be melting.
Is this in a nice area? I thought I heard somebody say that it's kind of a crappy like. It's not like on the strip, or it's not near anything. Like you can't really walk anywhere. It's just kind of like you're like
it's driving to a hotel. It's connected to whatever.
They said because with the VIP packages, you're like attached, so you don't have to walk the strip or go outside. You can like take you can go right to it from the hotel, which is also funny. It is the Venetian. Is that what I said, Brian? Because whatever we read off of the other day from the VIP packages was the one that was connected to it. So I think it is the Venetian.
I'm gonna look that shit up.
I think it would be, I mean, I think it'll be very interesting to see, like, also, every time I've gone for shows, like I said, in the 90s for Vegas, for Dead and Fish, it's always funny to see the wooks show up in Vegas. And back in then, we were staying at like Circus or Excalibur or whatever. These days, to see wooks staying at the Venetian, that'll be quite an interest. Like, that'll be fun, right? Like, you're kind of like, oh.
And they're so cool. I mean, when Fish played Atlantic City, we were inside the casino there, and they were very cool to everyone. But I mean, it's
no hotel right next to the fucking Sphere, unless they. They must have like tunnels and shit under the highways because it's surrounded by fucking like highways and overpasses. But they must have like a tunnel. Bridges. Yeah, bridges or tunnel.
By the way,
that'll be great after the show. Pack full of people walking through it.
For anybody going, have you seen the Tesla tunnels under Vegas now that they have? So if you get in a Tesla Uber from going to a casino or from even the airport to a casino, they have specific tunnels under Vegas that are just basically one lane that a Tesla fits in, and it charges the Tesla while it's going through the tunnel, and the tunnel connects to all these different casinos. So like you get in the tunnel and just shoot straight to your casino. You get out at the parking lot, and then it comes out of the ground there at the casino, and then goes back underground near the casino. It's really fucking cool.
So when your Tesla blows up, you're stuck in a tunnel. There's no way
I'm like, if that thing dies in there, you're kind of screwed because I don't see a lot of weight. Like, I don't even know if you can open your door in the tunnel. It's so small. Like, it's crazy.
I heard the atmosphere inside the sphere, like not like in the seats, but like the concourse and stuff is really, really cool too. Like
Yeah.
that's like the whole thing is a very like futuristic experience from the
Well, yeah,
70s.
B
'cause
is
you
for
can leave during
vertigo.
the show and go like to the bar under the stage or something that's down there or some shit. Like, I'm sure there's some cool things to explore when you go
Yeah.
for sure.
I bet it's
So are
like
you
a
going?
stadium though. I bet it's like stadium seating. Like the steps are going to be those
Well,
tiny little steps, and you can't look around. You got to just stare at the ground while you're going up there.
that's
until
what
you-
they said is like watch your feet to your seats, and then even getting acclimated. Like whenever you get dizzy or anything, look down and concentrate on your feet, and then slowly bring your eyes back up and orient to like the center of the thing and try and figure out your.
Because
It'll be
your
fun.
hearing, your balance is thinking one thing, and your eyes are telling your body something
Everything's
else.
off.
I
Yeah,
guess.
your ears, your eyes, and your stomach are not communicating with the brain properly.
All right, I have a
Yeah.
question. Really, what's wrong with sitting down? Like, listen,
Nothing.
no, I know, right? But there's always been this weird thing where it's like there's like this pressure. It's like everybody has to stand and dance at shows and shit. And like I know it's not really there because I've sat at shows, right? I've had like a head full, or I'm just tired because it's been a long run or whatever. Nobody says anything, but I feel like at this, I think it would be fucking great to like like just get in the right headspace and like sit back and just listen to great music and look at the visuals.
I think to your point, Tim, some of my favorite music to listen to and see live is jazz. And a lot of times you're not up dancing at a jazz show. You're like sitting in a seat listening to the music. So there's a precedent for it. I mean, it's not completely out of the realm. The hard thing is like jazz with Fish or even the Dead, you want to move, right? Like
Right, and it's a habit. We've done it every time.
and you kind of can't. So even if you're sitting down, you're kind of like, okay, how can I do this? So you want to stand and dance. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be that bad once you're kind of standing and like. I mean, of course, if you're spun and everything, everything goes out the window.
I would buy tickets for the 100 section, maybe two, but couldn't see myself putting myself in the 300 or 400s because I'd be.
See, I would, but I would just sit and I would be fine with it. I would.
Like, where's the seatbelt? It's a seatbelt.
Strap in,
right?
5-point harness. That would be cool.
I don't know about doing a head full in there either. I mean, you want to because you're going into the sphere. That's like the first thing I thought. Wow, that would be so cool, but
yeah, it'd be intense as shit.
Probably
though.
no drinking. I wouldn't drink. I definitely wouldn't drink.
No, I mean drink, and that's all, or something
right.
and no.
I probably
drink.
would skip the drinking.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, drinking might be kind of tough.
And especially $18 beers or 24 or whatever they're going to charge. I'm good on the $24 Coors Light. It's
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That drinking's tough. Trying to get down after drinking, I think, would be the harder thing after the show.
I hope if they webcast these, either Fish or Dead and Co, that they give like a crowd cam, like before and after. You know how like the Fish webcast, you could see like the place filling up. I just want to see the place emptying out and everybody just like, whoa,
right into the tunnel.
So I guess we're gonna try I don't know, we haven't talked about it, but like if they webcast these, we're gonna do after shows for all these shows.
Well, okay,
right?
my question to you is if the second weekend they do the exact same sets, are we gonna do
Hey,
we're gonna take the show from the weekend before and just play, but not tell anybody it's not live.
I was gonna say we could either rerun the show or it'll be fun to compare and contrast the songs.
But then it might be then it might be like a Sunday night thing after the show or something,
after the run.
Yeah, after each weekend. I don't know. We're gonna have to see, but yes, we're planning on doing something because how can we not? It's gonna be fun. My other question is, are they really gonna stream? We're like assuming that Fish is, assuming that Dead and Company will, but you two didn't.
Yeah, but
why
YouTube
wouldn't they
doesn't have that mechanism built in. They don't do it. My take is that Fish is almost guaranteed to webcast it. I think they're like I'm like 95% sure, confident that they would. Dead and Co, I'm 50-50 because they're not as consistent about it, and they're playing 24 shows, and their financial model for it is different. Right. I feel like Fish, they need to squeeze every penny they can out of those 4 shows. Whereas Matt and Co, they're going a different approach.
And I'm just curious as to how that is gonna work. I mean, I'm sure again they've planned it right. Like I'm sure they've been in there figuring out if they're going to do the film, if they're going to do the webcast, they know how they're going to shoot it and show it and see it. I'm just very curious as to how that'll work with the screens and what
See, I feel like it
we'll
would be a
be
regular
seeing.
old it would be a regular old fish webcast where you'd have all the close-ups of Trey and you really wouldn't even see the screens.
Most of the screens. That's what I was
Right.
thinking, or just what's directly behind them. Like a lot of the YouTube videos that you see, you don't see like unless it's specifically showing the wall and the graphics. You kind of just see them with whatever's behind, type thing with the lights behind them, type thing.
I'd
You
be
can't
okay
really
with
tell what the
that.
images are.
Well, Apple just released their new.
That's I was just gonna say, how sick would it be to be able to stream these things in like that? Because you've seen like the way in the ads and stuff, the way they do F1 now, and you have like the track in front, like that's kind of augmented in front of you and the view over here. So it'd be sweet if you had like inside
Yeah, I don't know if
the
we're
arena.
there with the technology yet, but if they could, I would prefer that over actually going, because you could like be super
Next
comfortable.
5 years,
and
man. In the next 5 years, that thing's gonna explode because you've already seen the videos on hitting social media of the people walking across the crosswalks with the glasses on doing their thing, or the guy sitting on the subway doing his like work while he's sitting with the glass. I mean, it's gonna be like we're gonna be so annoyed. Everyone's just gonna be in their own little pod
Did
watching.
you ever see
Not
Ready
me.
Player One?
Not me,
Yeah.
man.
Ready Player
Not
One,
me.
yeah,
Yeah, it's complete Ready Player One.
totally
vibes.
is. It totally is. That was actually one of the first dates Alex and I went on was the premiere of that movie, and I'll never forget that. But yeah, terrible. Like movie didn't do a lot for me, but man, those visuals were. I was like, this would be kind of a cool world to
Well,
live
yeah,
in.
the dystopian aspect of it was intense. So the rest of the movie, I mean, I read the book. I thought the book was great, but hey, now we're doing a book club on Wook Plus.
Man,
Who knows what we're going to talk about?
I was looking for. I started to think I wanted to buy a car, and then I was like, well, I don't want to buy one of these new cars with the cameras in it and the GPS where you're just sending data to Ford every day or whatever. So what it's come down to is I probably need to buy like a 1985 Monte Carlo or something like that.
Get 5 miles per gallon, and then
I can see you driving that actually.
Oh, I would look good. I would look
Man,
good.
if we could pull up to Mondegreen in that would be sweet.
that would be sick. Get a bus. If you're gonna spend the money, get a bus. And then we
Right.
a V-dub, and then we can take that to Monday Green.
Get like an old
Right.
Westphalia.
Yeah.
A little Westphalia, yeah. Those things
Oh,
are
yeah.
expensive as shit. Do you know how much they cost?
These days, that's true. They're no longer like anything cheap. You're gonna have to fix up.
Right. They got gentrified. They became all bougie.
I was
Right.
thinking about that for the festival. What's the cutoff for like what classified as an RV? Because like it's like you have a minivan, no, you have a work van, maybe, and probably not. Like if
An
I have
RV,
like
I think has like an attached thing. It's sizes. It's the
Yeah, I was
size
gonna say, I
they
think
give
it's
you.
size. Size matters.
it's
I mean, you
under
can make
40
a big fucking van.
Man,
It's under 40. Yeah, an 8-person passenger van you could rent. You know what I was thinking? Should I say this out loud or tell you
Yeah.
guys later?
that you
Probably
build
not
up,
a great
take van-
idea, but
take a
so
van
you
and
might as
build
well.
up, so
Well,
it's not like
you know who rents like rent like a box truck from U-Haul because they're like $30 a day or something like that.
Right. I thought about that too, but it's that can you go in a car? If you get in like with the car pass and you drive up in a fucking U-Haul, are they going to be like, no, buddy, get it?
They're gonna want to look in the back.
probably
Well, yeah,
on a car
obviously,
pass.
but I'm just talking about size and shit. Like,
Car
there has to be a
camping.
cutoff where they're like, all right,
Right.
guys, this isn't a fucking car.
I think, yeah, there you go. I think I was gonna say, I think the smaller version of some of those U-Hauls you might be able to, but once you get kind of that medium to bigger size, you're getting into that RV territory as far as length wise
Right.
goes.
Yeah, you
I
got to
don't
get
wanna
the smallest one.
I don't
Right.
want to rent an U-Haul though. I want to pick up because they have really cheap work trucks around here, $4,000 or $5,000 and just finish it. Like I did that like cafe for like my daughter. Like I could fucking finish the inside of a
What
truck.
about
or a
Brother
van.
Walk?
Dude? All right. I gotta talk to him still, but his RV's in bad shape. He needs like
But Jesse,
I wasn't even gonna ask Jesse. I would love to, but I'm not.
You can't. Oh, you can't sleep in my Westie at night.
That's what I want though. That would be fucking great.
went up to Hershey in his Westie. That was so fun. The radio didn't work. We were forced to like talk the whole time.
Oh, God forbid.
Oh no, that's the beauty of it. Those
Oh, it
old
was the best
V-dubs.
thing ever. I was tweeting about it afterwards how cool it was to not have, any electronics. You're just chilling.
Yep.
It was cool.
Kev's like the grumpy old man, but on like to the extreme, right? It's not like, oh, this new technology. He's like, oh, this electric and this FM radio. Oh, it takes away from the good old days when we used to have to talk by the fire.
Yes, Kevin does always fall asleep.
It's the passenger seat curse, man. Like, what do you expect? It's so hard, especially on those trips. Like, you're smoking bowls over there and you're trying to, especially, well, no radio, I guess, if you're talking, kind of. But as soon as the silence hit, you're like, ugh.
The hum of the road, the like,
And trees running by.
It's tough.
yeah, I've been guilty of that too myself. It's hard.
Do you want to give us
yeah.
a preview of some matches?
Okay, could do that. So we got some actually crazy, well, not crazy, but some fun matches.
I think
I'm not gonna end. I want to
dancing.
Yeah, Kev, you just asked me, and then you just you're doing that shit again. He's treating it like all that jam. He's just gonna fucking ask his own questions and then answer them. He's alley-ooping to himself. It's like, goddamn, Kev.
What do you think about that Dark Star jam? Let me tell you.
Well,
what
thanks
I
for
think
asking, Kev. Let me tell you.
Well, what I think about it is.
All right. Yes. So
USA.
Saint of Circumstance, Dancing in the Street.
Yeah.
What is it?
Saint versus Dancing. Saint of Circumstance, Dancing in the Street.
Ooh, I'm a Saint guy myself.
Man, that is like one of my least favorite matchups. Like, I know Kevin's a Saint fan, but man, I am like, oh god, really? We have to pick between those two? I would probably go with Saint just because Kev likes it. I'm not a dancing fan at all.
Yeah, I would go Saint too. Birdsong versus US Blues.
Birdsong.
What was it? I didn't hear it. Sorry, I missed the second one.
Birdsong versus US Blues.
Oh, geez. Not even a question. Birdsong.
Yeah. Sorry, Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit tougher though than the other ones. I think that's gonna be a
Well, I
tighter
see some people. Ed's a U.S. Blues guy, so
I mean, US Blues, I would think it feels like more of a second round, third round song could have made it that far, but going up against Birdsong is tough. Like that's a rough first matchup.
Crazy Fingers versus Direwolf.
oh, I got to get Crazy Fingers.
That's
I love Blues Shitty.
That's a super shitty first round matchup.
We're starting with the closest matchups just to get people fired
They're
up.
the 7/8. Yeah.
That is a tough one though. I love Direwolf. Like that is just come on.
Crazy Fingers has so much more.
It's rare.
It's rare and it has more heft to it.
I definitely saw more crazy. I saw more Crazy Fingers than Direwolves, that's for sure.
I used to have this thing. It shows whenever the Dead played Direwolf that they were going to do a great second set. So I was always so excited when they did Direwolf because I thought the second set was just going to rock.
They were on.
Box of Rain versus Easy Wind.
Ooh, oh, man. I'm going to go Easy Wind, even though I like Box of Rain's lyric better. That pig performance on that studio Easy Wind is some of the best stuff the Dead ever put on wax.
Yeah, but that's like a one-off song for that. Like Box of Rain is Box of Rain. Like it's beautifully written. I don't know. I'd go Box of Rain.
I wasn't ready for the next one. Victim or the Crime, Days Between.
Oh, dude, now that's a dick move. They're like two of my favorite songs. Man, I'm gonna have.
You helped seed this, Kev. Like
I know.
I made a little bit of adjustments, but like you can't really bitch.
It's gonna have to be Days Between, man. Even though Victim was so
thought about that, Kev. Like as much as you love that song.
Oh, but I love Victim because it's so evil and the whole lyric. When I was like 16 or 17 and Victim came out, the whole am I the victim or the crime? Am I the deceiver or the deceived? And all that nonsense. I was like, this is so me. I'm so angsty.
You are angsty.
I just always like it's just got such a almost 80s feel to that song, like the 90s feel to it, but the musical like the composure of that song just always kind of set me off on it. Like I never really got I like the lyrics. It's a fun like little song you'd get sometimes in the second set here and there, but like it just always kind of was like a weird melody to me. Victim Foolish. There you go, Steely. Yeah. Nice.
Picasso Moon versus Althea. We're all judging you, so you got to choose properly.
I would pick Picasso Moon.
Kev would pick that.
I literally just said we're all gonna judge you.
Can we make a banner instead of Kev's bad takes, Kev's bad picks? I mean, Althea, come on. You're talking about like perfect versions.
Yeah,
Kev.
probably.
That,
I
without a
probably
net version. That without a net
Right.
version is like.
I think you got to go batting average, right? Like in
when
general,
I walked
with these,
into
not
the
those
booth,
songs, but do you go for the ideal version of the song or the batting average of the? I don't know. Actually, I don't know which way you go because you could go about it either way.
When I'm doing this, if a studio cut exists, that's what my base is.
Okay. Yeah,
I think I put a lot of different factors into it. I don't think there's one thing. I think it's all that, Tim. It's different versions, the best version, other versions, the studio version. Like it's all that stuff wrapped up into like how I feel about this song.
What it means for a show, because I know I've done that too. It's like where the song itself might not be like mind blowing, but when you catch it, it means the show is special and it's gonna like add something extra, or like personal memories too and associations with it.
Or even
There's a
what
lot.
you'd rather hear at a show. Like, oh, if I'm going to a show, do I want to get an Althea or would I rather get a
Picasso Moon?
I'm going Althea.
I can't tell you off the top of my head, SC, but next time I see you in the chat, I'll give you something.
I won't just say it is the GOAT, Tom. Like that Althea, it never gets old. Like you can listen to that thing on repeat and it doesn't get old, especially the beginning when they come crashing in with those drums and the cymbals. It's like it gives me chills every time. I love that.
I still have Fatigue, Althea Fatigue from Dead and Company.
Well, you got to separate them. I agree totally with that, but this is like if you're talking Grateful Dead, Althea's, the Dead and Co ones don't even count. Like Mayors is its own. We could do our own bracket on Dead and Co. You know,
should I be sharing this as I'm going through these matchups?
Probably.
All right, where were we? We just did Eternity Stranger.
Stranger. Even though that Eternity from the last Wook Club from the 94 show is pretty good.
But Stranger, Kev, there's the song that if you got a stranger, like you were like, ooh, tonight is going to be something.
Bobby's feeling it.
Tonight is going to be something special.
And then last up is Here Comes Sunshine versus The Wheel.
Ooh. Ouch.
That's a lot.
Kick me in the nuts with that one. Damn.
Yeah, that one's brutal.
I would probably go The Wheel because it was consistent through their whole career, as opposed to Here Comes Sunshine had monster ones back in 73 and then it disappeared, and when it came back it never quite got its wings, you know.
Yeah, I mean I'd probably go The Wheel just because there's so many spectacular wheels just everywhere, and the song
wheels everywhere
wheels everywhere, and the song wheels are coming off. And like the song itself, it's tough not to go with Sunshine, but man, yeah, I'd go with The Wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I think I felt that way about a lot of matchups. It's like you know what the answer is, you just kind of feel bad for
the other
guy.
The other song, exactly.
Right, like I mean, you know what you're supposed to do, but you just don't want to do it.
And the fans of the other song, you feel bad for too. You know, you're like, oh,
right. Like you don't want somebody to like come in all happy and put their vote and then see the results and be like 5%, and you're like, oh man,
oh man.
That's when you got to retweet and you got to rally your people.
Yeah.
All right, I'm fully hyped now. I started the show saying I was like, oh, we'll see. Just put it out there and just going through those matchups. I can't wait to see how these pan out. I'm so fucking excited to see how everything turns out. I like this. I like the middle of this bracket a lot more. I think because I'll probably do one more fish bracket too. I'm more interested at the end of that bracket and seeing how it finishes. But I'm more interested in all these middle matchups and seeing how that pans out, I think.
I
Who would
agree
be-
because there's a lot of division with the. I mean, not division, but there's a lot of division with the songs. Like you can debate either way, right? Like you'll have people that go 50-50 on some of those, like the Wheel and Sunshine. You're kind of like, ooh, there'll be people for both of those and fighting causes for both of those. So how does it pan out and which way does it end up going? And what, to your point too, Tim, what may have happened last time may not happen this time. So you never know. Like you could do it 3 times and get 3 different answers for one matchup type thing, you know? So
Yeah, and well, with Terrapin being retired, it shifts the seeds a little bit. So we'll
what
get
song got added?
I don't know. What did we add?
Was it Blues for Allah?
No, I think that was already in there, but fuck, man, tell me on the spot. I don't know.
That's all right.
I don't know
Cream
what
Puff
we added.
War, I think, was in contention. Maybe
I think Cream Puff War was in there.
It's not the play-in matchup though that the song we added. Did it
No.
It got automatically seeded?
it would have
No.
been seeded against Eyes probably because Eyes was the top seed.
Yeah. Oh, right. Where is that?
Where's
I
that?
love it.
Wait,
What's going on?
Who drew this thing?
something's not 100%
You
right.
forgot Eyes.
No, Eyes is on there, but Eyes is playing We Can Run.
Oh, that was the bottom song last time.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that last time, Kev. We Can Run. Brent's song.
I don't know. We'll see.
What happened, Brent? You know, that ended up on a Greenpeace album. Like Greenpeace did a 2 LP thing, and
Yep.
the Dead didn't like doing that. They weren't big on. Because I feel like everybody came to ask them. You have to say no to everyone if you have a bunch of people asking you, you know? And they had the Rex thing, which I guess was theirs.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. What are we talking
Rex Foundation was, I think, the Dead's
Oh.
charity. And then they helped with SIVA, which gave eyeglasses to kids in Africa.
about? Oh. How do we get on that? No, I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to find the fucking thing you
how
threw
do we
me
get
under the
anywhere?
bus with. I don't know.
We take lots of left turns and right turns.
Well, we were talking about Brent and
Greenpeace.
and We Couldn't Run got put on a Greenpeace album, and that led us down that road.
Thank you. Thank you, T. That was a very concise description of how we got where we were. Has there been anything else going on? I mean, I know this fear talk.
Did you guys see Billy Strings with Chris Steele?
Yeah,
Tilly, whatever his name is,
on CBS this morning yesterday. Like that's pretty big, mainstream, let's say, to put that on there. And he did a little been all around this world.
Yeah, Billy is so happy.
I got a Billy Strings story.
Oh,
So I'm not going to say names or how I know because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to know or not. But I know somebody that is connected with the Lincoln Center, and Billy Strings just played there with like the symphony or something, the Philharmonic, and they had one of the craziest experiences that had ever been recorded at the Lincoln Center. There was throwing up and vomit and mess in the Lincoln Center. They had to break up the Nitrous Mafia, and this conversation is like, okay, I get it if you're going to like a theater and like you're playing like not like a theater, but like like a venue and like you're drinking, you're like at a bar, but you're going to like an opera house and wearing like tuxes and shit for like the symphony, and you have the fucking Nitrous Mafia. And I don't know, man. It was crazy.
Well, now this isn't the same people who are now selling barf bags, is it?
No, that was Blue Sky, or Green Sky, but
Yeah.
that is funny. So I guess that story was 100% true.
So now wait, Billy fans? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sorry, I butchered the transition into that story. Basically, the security had to break up the Nitrous Mafia, and I don't think he's getting invited back because the actual. Are you familiar with the Lincoln Center? It's like one of the nicest theaters in New York. It's where like the New York Philharmonic and like the Met and everything's there. It's like beyond bougie. It's like the gold standard in the United States for like nice places. You don't go there in like tie-dyes and wook shorts and like, get fucked up. Normally, like not me. I'm not trying to be pretentious. I'm just saying like that what they're used to seeing are like tuxedos and like gowns and shit. And then they invited Billy Strings to play there. And apparently all these bluegrass wooks came in and the Nitrous Mafia invaded and like fucking destroyed the place. Like legit, like they had like replaced and it was ugly, but I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because like I saw that came up with Bobby. Didn't you go see Bobby in DC?
At Kennedy Center, yeah.
At Kennedy, it's similar to that, right? I think Lincoln's probably a little nicer than Kennedy, but it's the same idea.
I wore a polo and a pair of pants. Actually, I had sweatpants on,
right?
But they were nice. They were my nice Adidas sweatpants.
Were people spun out of their minds at Kennedy Center, and was there Nitrous Mafia there?
I know there was no Nitrous Mafia that I know, and yeah, we had a few drinks.
Right, but you're not spun out and
oh no, nothing like that. Nothing.
Right.
Like
I
that.
think I'm not saying like don't party, but I just feels like that's crazy to go fucking Lincoln.
But you know what? If someone had have said, "Oh, you want a cap or a stem?" I probably would have taken it.
Kev would have been one of those spun out.
Well, I wouldn't try to get out. I wouldn't want to get abducted, but a little smile, a little illegal smile,
Yeah. I don't even know why I find it interesting because I'm not trying to like be all like pleasing against it. It's just like, I don't know. I have, listen, all right, I'm going to sound pretentious. I don't give a fuck. You guys know who I am. But like from like my childhood, right? Like being a kid going into the city, going to like these things, like it was always such like, you hold it in such high regard and high esteem. And it's not like, you know what I mean? Like there's not sacred, but like there's like something special about these places and like the history and shit. And it just feels like doesn't look good on the scene. And it's like, I don't know. I guess it just stuck with me. But anyway, we don't need to stick on that.
You sound like my teacher in elementary school when we went to the symphony. And she made us like recite all the rules back.
Right. And like, I don't want to be all like, oh, you got to follow the rules. But like in that world, I feel like you kind of do. You know,
I farted at the quiet part.
Thank you, Christian. I'm like desperately finding it out, and they're just like,
wasn't Green Sky though? What was that? Wasn't that a bluegrass festival or like
somebody pooped and then someone?
Well, no, I know, but that's what I was saying. Wasn't it bluegrass too, or wasn't it kind of?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, Green Sky's bluegrass,
right? So like what is it with like the bluegrass fans all of a sudden like raging? Causing craziness.
I described it to my wife. So this is gonna take a little bit of setup, but in college we had a buddy named Grayson who was a good old boy. He made moonshine. He grew up in Appalachia. Nice. He drove like a truck like that, like an old like a 65 Chevy. And I described it as like meet Kevin and Grayson and you combine them, right? It's like when you get old heady wooks and good old boys and you combine them and give them all sorts of drugs. That's what happens. Right, it's not just like liberal hippie shit. It's like good old boys getting fucked up,
taking it to that next like level of it, and just I don't know.
I don't know. That's my theory. Right? I don't
know. Those bluegrass fans, man, control your boys.
Yeah,
sheesh. And your bowels.
Most importantly, your bowels.
Most importantly, quit shitting on the floor everywhere.
Good move by Green Sky though to make the merch and to laugh at it and like to acknowledge it like that. But I can't believe because that was the first official statement or thing I'd seen. Because other than that, it was all just speculation on Reddit.
I almost put out a bulletin. Yes, someone shit in Dayton.
No, but I mean, like even like Jam Bass or Live for Live Music, like nobody touched that topic. Like nobody was going anywhere near it. All you could find on it was like Reddit stories. And then the band comes out with, so I guess we didn't explain what they did. At the merch table, they made like like puke bags and sold them. And they said Green Sky on them, Green Sky Bluegrass.
Barf
they made
bag is the correct term.
Right, not doggy bag. Don't get those two mixed up.
I use the barf bag as a doggy bag.
And then they made videos on their socials about it, which I thought was funny as hell. And luckily we got tagged in it, so I didn't miss it.
Great.
Moonshine's powerful stuff. I like some moonshine, though. I hope somebody brings some moonshine to Monday Green.
If anyone gives Kevin moonshine, you're getting banned from the channel. Well, depending on how he does, maybe you'll get some free merch if it.
I'm not
if it
eating the
works.
fruit. There used to be this guy, and he'd give it to you, and it had a peach in it, and the peach
Yeah.
would be all gray because it had been in there forever.
No.
Grayson used to make it with cherries, and you eat the cherry, you'd be fucked up. You didn't have to drink
Yeah.
anything. You eat the cherry, you'd be fucked up for hours, like 200 proof or something. Like holy shit.
Yeah, that's
We'll be doing live feats with fire.
Yeah. I wanted to plug or mention to people, if you guys didn't catch last Wednesday in Live, I thought it was a particularly fun show. I think you should go back and check it out. And then also this Tuesday, what is the show we're doing? I haven't listened to it yet.
Gorge from
18, right?
17.
17? 18.
18.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, SC. We do a lot of them, and I'll be honest, we don't always hit it, right? Some of our live streams
7/21/18. Thank you, S.
aren't always there, but I thought last Wednesday was a really good one.
Nice. The Gorge is always good.
That's why Wook Plus is here. We're gonna bring you the hard hitting shit news. Wherever we can find it. All right, you guys got anything else?
Take Imodium before you go out.
Take Imodium. We got a big week coming with. I think we got things coming every day this week.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of plugging
yeah.
shit.
Tell us about the
Also
interview.
Monday.
Yeah, actually, I think today, sometime this afternoon, we'll probably post the full Taper's Choice interview Llama and I did back in December with the band. We'll probably throw it up for members only for 24 hours and then release it public tomorrow at some point. So members will get a sneak peek of it tonight, and then it'll come out tomorrow. And then we're thinking Thursday or Friday into this week, we'll also release the Philly show from the tour, from the fall 23 tour. Philly show will come out. So Thursday or Friday, we'll dump that as well. So big week. We got something Monday, the interview, Tuesday, our Wook Club, Wednesday, Live, and then either Thursday or Friday. We'll let you know Wednesday night when that's going to drop, but Thursday or Friday, the Philly show. So you can get a little tease. Actually, I brought a little tease of the interview. It's a quick clip I'll play real quick for you guys to tease. And this is from the interview that we'll be releasing again to members later today and then on the channel full tomorrow.
I would say that the Taper's Choice fan community is small but growing and fierce. And there's more people than we've met, I think, obviously, and they'll probably jump in the comments and yell, come to Chicago or come to Seattle, as two of you want to do all the time.
Listen to that. We know who that Seattle person is. That's a Skoy shout out right there.
There we go. I do not know what the Goose Drummer rumors are.
Well, if Kev doesn't know, none of us know. He's the one that's in touch with the kids these days.
That's right. It was a look, SC. Yes, they both had jackets on. They thought they were going to the Kennedy Center.
Uh-huh.
All right, make sure you guys vote in the polls too. Those will go live tonight at 9 Eastern. All right. Thanks,
fun,
everybody.
Fun bracket.
Well, if they announce the drummer Tuesday, SC, we'll be talking about it Wednesday.
What Tuesday?
Or Tuesday.
Depends how quick we get our shit.
Hey, welcome, Ed. Real quick before we leave. Hey.
Hey. Awesome. All right. Later, everybody.